For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Been calling, 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 calling. Who's been calling, 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 calling? Who's been calling, 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 calling? Across the land, all across the world, echoes of voices, we join hand in hand. How many rise in the afternoon sun? Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Truth from St. Lucia to sandy shores, from cities and hills to the Caribbean breeze. We sing together, hearts at ease, education to open every mind. Learn about your country, leave no one behind. When NewsSpin is on your radio, come along hands in hands, voices in unity, singing loud. NewsSpin, who's the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. St. Lucian's heart to the world's every land. Knowledge unites us hand in hand. Yeah, Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. Tim on NewsSpin call, bridging gaps between us all. Voices lift on high, under one sky we unify. NewsSpin is on education for all, from city streets to mountains tall. Learn your history, share your dreams. Together we light the world with our flame. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world. Yeah, NewsSpin is the best, better than all talk show, most monitored talk show in the world.
We're going up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and you will be included in the discussion at 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And Shanti is here, already going through your comments in the chat rooms via Facebook and YouTube. And we have a lot to discuss, as always. Never a dull moment on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. Let's talk a little bit about the Citizenship by Investment Program. And straight into our NewsSpin question of the day. It reads, why waive the CIP audit report but fail to table it in Parliament? Why waive the CIP audit report but fail to table it in Parliament? And this report was due since October of last year for the period 2024 to 2025. To be more precise, April 2024 for the period April 24 to March of 2025. And the Prime Minister did present as a plausible, seemingly plausible reason for the delay in that the auditors going through a torrid time in ensuring that they were as thorough as possible, as is mandated under the law, because it's all about your reputation. Professional reputation as an auditor must remain intact. So you are overwhelmed with so much work, but at the same time, you certainly cannot throw caution out to the wind. You have to be as thorough as possible. So that is the reason, according to the Prime Minister, for the seeming inordinate delay, because members of the public has been asking for this report, and also the opposition. And every time, in most instances, you make reference to opposition, you muddy the waters, whether it's the SLP that's the opposition or the UWP that is sitting on the opposition benches. And that's why we ought to be extremely careful when we are discussing those pertinent and important issues, because it can be used as an escape route whenever you make reference to politicians and the opposition. So what you will hear from supporters of the government side is, when the UWP was in office, they were delaying the reports as well. And now the request is being made of the government, and you make reference to the opposition, the same thing will happen. And if the UWP is in office, make reference to the UWP, so the SLP. So it's not a UWP SLP thing. Let's get this out of the way. We're talking about our patrimony. We're talking about the sale of our passports. We're talking about raising millions of dollars in the name of the people of St. Lucia. And those funds must be accounted for. Let's take the private sector. You're working in a financial institution, in a bank. Don't you have to account for the funds of that financial institution, and by extension, depositors? The same obtains for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. The governor of the ECCB, all the employees, they must account. That's why you have the ECCU. So we have to account for the finances of the nation. And somehow politicians who are in office believe that, you are nagging them. You're like a pesky mosquito. Every time you're asking them to account, you're troubling them. You're a nuisance. So the Prime Minister recently said, in the island's Parliament, nowhere else, the Parliament. I know those guys like to wave. We have the audit report. The audit report is ready, and it will be tabled at the next sitting or subsequent sitting of the House of Assembly. Well, that subsequent sitting took place yesterday, and unfortunately, again, it was not tabled. The audit report of the CIP to cover the period 2024 to 2025 was not tabled, and the same excuse was provided to you the citizens of St. Lucia. But first, let's listen to the Prime Minister speaking in the island's parliament in March last month and waiving that report and making reference to the fact that it would be tabled.
So for the CIP program, they said that we had no reports for 4 years. No reports for 4 years. We tabled the 2023-2024 report, and we told them, Mr. Speaker, that there had been a shortage of qualified auditors in the country. There's a shortage because the accounting standards are so high. The accounting standards are so diverse. The accounting standards are so intricate that auditors are very careful when they give opinions on financial statements. We told them it was coming, Mr. Speaker. So the estimates, I showed it. You fashe. I showed it. So they're attacking me for showing it. They said it wasn't there, you know. When I show it, they attack me for showing it. I'll show it again and tell them it is ready, and the next sitting or subsequent sitting, it is going to be tabled in the Honorable House of Parliament.
The highly anticipated 2024-2025 Citizenship by Investment Annual Report appeared on Tuesday's parliamentary order papers, though it was not formally laid during the session. Earlier this month, Investment Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire stated that the report would be laid at this sitting of Parliament. Ahead of the proceedings, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre addressed the delay, offering an explanation for why the report, which was legally due last October, has taken a while to complete.
The only reason why the CIP report for 2025, because you will note that the report is for 2025. It's supposed to happen in October this month, October this year, for the report for 2026. So for 2025, the only reason why it's been late because the auditors have to do quite a lot of work on these reports. You know, the discussions on CIB, and the auditors have a reputation to protect.
The Prime Minister says that the accounting profession has become challenging. He notes that factually accurate reports are important as the auditors are liable to serious legal action if the report is incorrect.
The organization prepares a set of financial statements and gives it to the auditors to express an opinion. The auditors have to perform certain tests to deal with international standards. These laws are not for St. Lucia. So the tests that they're going to perform are not St. Lucia laws. It's for international accounting procedure. And these have to be applied because the auditors are saying that the figures on these statements are accurate based on the laws and the tests they have made. And that's why it takes so much time.
Pierre asserts that there is no secrecy surrounding the report. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoute reporting.
And I'm sure that at some point in time, the Prime Minister would provide us with a reasonable excuse. Or if it is, one can consider it to be something that is plausible as to why that report was not tabled in the island's parliament yesterday. If you're waiving it, if it is finally available, something that is so important in terms of ensuring that you're transparent and you account to the people of this country, why not table it when you already had promised to do so? So we're expecting an explanation from the solution leader and even the investment minister as well. We don't want the politician that the Prime Minister is, very capable politician that he is, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister, to wade into, things that are political and segue into, other politicians and the UWP and even make reference to December the 1st. We have been through that before. Provide us with the facts. There are times when you have to look the people in the eye and explain to them. Do so seriously and passionately if you have to, but please do not try to muddy the waters by confusing things and dealing with other issues that are under periphery, issues that have nothing to do with matters that are presented to you or queries that are posed to you. One of the is a political commentator, Minerva Ward, making the news. She had this live presentation via Facebook and I think YouTube as well on Sunday, addressing a number of issues, and she has taken both the UWP and the SLP to task. We have a report from DBS's Amanda King.
During the live session, Ward gave the opposition United Workers' Party a failing grade, arguing that it lacks the organization, unity, and the strategic leadership needed to form the next government. She pointed to internal divisions and what she described as an exclusionary leadership style as key weaknesses.
This is a political party. This is not a clique. This is not a clique. This is a political organization where you're supposed to bring talent together. Instead, you operated as an exclusive clique. You and a few others at the top. You and a few others at the top. An exclusive clique to the exclusion of everybody else. How are you expecting to win an election operating like that? I have said to the UWP, until and unless things are not resolved within the UWP, they are going to be spoken about externally.
At the same time, she criticized the governing St. Lucia Labour Party led by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, questioning its handling of national resources and transparency, particularly regarding the Citizenship by Investment program and its approach to taxation and development.
You're going to vote for a government that are giving you a few little dollars here and there after taxing y'all, overtaxing y'all, a new tax with record CIP. That tax, that 2.5% should have never happened. And why is it still there? It was supposed to be there for two years. It's now 4 years. Why is it still there? And where is our CIP report? It is now 6 months overdue. The April 2024 to March 31st, 2025 CIP report was due back in October. This government has not seen it fit to table that report. Philippines going in Parliament and showing either it's ready. It's ready, table it. Let us see how you've sold our passports.
Responding to questions about her statements, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre said he had not viewed the broadcast and therefore would not comment directly on Ward's remarks. However, addressing the issue raised more generally, he stated that the government remains committed to transparency, noting that the 2024-2025 audited CIP report would be presented in Parliament.
CIP transparency. I was at a budget forum speech and I showed the public the CIP report. I said it's going to be laid in the House. It's going to be laid in the House tomorrow. But I wanted to allay the public's concern and their concern that there was no report. So I showed the report. Is anything wrong with that? I showed it. And tomorrow is going to be laid in the paper for the public. But the report has been in the public domain. I've read things about it. But the fact is that the CIP report is ready as of the 31st of March 2025. It's ready. Good? It's going to be laid in the report. It's an audited report. What more can I do about the CIP report?
The Island's Prime Minister ending that Amanda King report. The report will be laid in the House tomorrow. That was yesterday. It did not happen. And the Prime Minister spoke with a degree of certainty, unequivocal, to reporters on Monday. And the sitting of the House was scheduled for the following day. The Prime Minister also said that the contents of the report has been in the public domain. Not to my knowledge. If it has not been tabled in the island's parliament, how comes, Mr. Prime Minister, it has been in the public domain? This is confusing because I have no evidence of that. And if you were watching this broadcast and listening as well, you have any evidence to prove that the contents of that report has been in the public domain to the extent the Prime Minister can make reference to that. And he is saying that with a degree of certainty. Please enlighten us on this. Let's take the calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Once again, Jante is there. Jante is there going through the comments in the chat rooms, and she'll have some updates for us. Somebody says, this guy can't keep fooling us. We need to see the contents of the report, not just the cover. We keep hearing that CIP has so many benefits. We want to know how much was made and how it was spent. The CBI program has already cost us so much. At this point, if the funds are being mismanaged, is it really worth it? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. The Prime Minister's stunt in Parliament, claiming to have the CIP report, has sparked outrage. The public deserves access to this report, but the Prime Minister's reluctance to share it raises suspicion. The Tourism Minister must be held accountable for this lack of transparency, and the Prime Minister's dishonesty must be addressed. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see, we have another WhatsApp message. When will Sanusians realize that the Prime Minister is a pathological liar? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says, we should not be confused. By now we should know the words of a con artist. I knew he was just deflecting to misguide us and to make us move on. A call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, NewsSpin statistician and law enforcer.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay, sir. How about you?
Yeah, I'm fine, dude. Shanti, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
See, let's read between the lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister waived the document, right?
Yes.
He said it was the CIP report.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing he said yesterday. The CIP report must be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play devil's advocate him. Maybe what he was waiving was not accurate.
Yes. One can make that assumption.
So would you put a noose around your neck?
But he also said the report, the document which I waived, would be tabled in Parliament tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is the Tuesday.
Maybe that report was the one that was not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So that wouldn't be tabled. That would be put in a noose around your neck. Now let's play devil's advocate against him. The CIP report has been in the public domain for a long time, right?
So he says.
Does the name Martinez ring a bell?
In terms of what? What he's been saying with regard to the number of files that have been sold.
The files, the allegations, the accusations, the figures,
how much
the
money?
numbers, the amount of passports and things.
Yeah.
Wasn't that in the public domain?
It was.
I respect it.
But should we give credence to that?
No, Tim. So it's speculation and speculation and speculation.
Right.
That's all we can go on. We have nothing before us, Tim.
But we ought not to be put in that situation, that position.
Who's putting us there, Tim?
Our government, our Prime Minister.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Have a good day, bro.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. You just heard there from the NewsSpin statistician. Let's continue with some more of your calls. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let us see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, good afternoon. Ask Mr. Wayne Girard, why is the Vanna court under chain and lock and the playing field unkempt for years? That's according to a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. Go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Tim.
Yes, sir.
Good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Good afternoon to you. How about you?
Tim, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I must agree with your caller, your first caller. The Prime Minister must must have more respect for the people of St. Lucia, you know. And not just the people. If he doesn't respect the people that vote for him, he must respect all the rest of the people. Because not everybody voted for him. What he's doing in Parliament there and what his government is doing, those guys, I have said it before, Tim, if we are a serious set of people, Philip would not be the Prime Minister, you know. The man can wave any book with a cover on it in Parliament and says audit report, you know. A report that's due, overdue. You just waving papers like of somebody we know on a talk show that's wave false papers. And when it's to present it, you're not presenting it. And you're not saying anything, nobody challenging you, and everybody is looking at the Prime Minister is the naked emperor. And everybody is just accepting that the Prime Minister is just a comedian. But we don't need a comedian running our country, Tim. We need a serious person. But I will come back on that, Tim. But let me go quickly. Showing how incompetent Philip Pierre is again. Tim, I noticed the Rockall project has taken on some new life. The housing apartment project. The guys are currently there from Monday. They're putting on hoarding and so on. Blocking off the site. Tim, the last time, it is 2 years, 3 years, you have heard nothing about that. The last time Philip Pierre told the reporters, if somebody can tell him where the BMAC site is, he will be happy to know. So you have completely forgotten about BMAX. Suddenly on Monday, this week, some guys appeared and they're starting to put up fencing and boarding and so on. This government is getting away with the worst atrocities. UWP could have never survived doing that, you know, Tim. In St. Lucia. We have all the bright people, all the bright minds, all the big wigs talking when UWP is in power. You mean where are the intelligent people of this country? We are allowing Philip Pierre and them to just clown up our parliament, pappy showing us. Nobody knows what's happening. The fellas are giving no account of nothing. Where is the commissioner of police, Tim? Vanguard, I'm happy he's back because I've led that question on him before. The commissioner of police is responsible for receiving our passports and the proceeds of our passport money. Why is Philip Pierre and Ernest Hille being allowed to do what they're doing with our passport money? Passport money is not just revenue, you know. Right now, passport is a security risk, present a security risk, Tim. We're talking about terrorists having our passports. We're talking about our visa restrictions now. When you have people holding passports that should not be holding our passports. That is not a money-making, just a money-making event. That's a security issue now. And already we have a security issue in St. Lucia that Philip Pierre cannot even talk about in his constituency. But we're allowing it to broaden it to an international scale, and we just there allowing the naked emperor to just run amok in St. Lucia. What's wrong with us, man? I alone don't have to say that, Tim. Now I'm happy, Mr. Your first caller got off the mark this afternoon. I'm happy. I'm happy that he got off the mark. Let some other voices come. But this is, if the police have to take on Philip Pierre, if the ex-police officers have to take on Philip Pierre, because Alva Baptiste, Richard Frederick, Ernest Hille, and Philip Pierre, you see those four? Those fellas we are holding responsible for all our security issues. Those 4. Tim boy, let me tell you, I sometimes I don't know whether to just laugh or cry, when I listen to Philip Pierre, man. But
caller, you call this program regularly to highlight issues of concern to you, things of you deem to be of national importance. Why should you look for other sections of the society to join your effort? Do you believe that you on your own, you lack the strength, you lack the credibility, you lack the power for your for those issues that you're raising, for those issues you're raising to resonate with the rest of the public?
Tim, I am a politician, I wasn't a candidate, but let me tell you, Tim, you know what I was, what I am? I'm a retired Tim, I spent 35 years and a half in security of this country, I know, I can see what Philippi and those guys are doing there, damaging this country, I'm not bound to be saying that, Tim. I can sit pretty, don't even listen to NewsSpin, and that ain't bothering me, But when I know people like Mr. James who called there, and other officers who have fought for this country, have risked their life for this country, and you have some mad politicians just coming about because they have money, can win an election. Those fellas are mad, Tim. Those fellas don't care about, as long as those fellas in power. If those fellas had lost the election, many of them would have traveled already, Get out of here already, But they win. They were able to convince the people to vote for them. They win and they're hanging around. But those fellas, when trouble starts for this country, those fellas will just pack up and move. They might have nowhere going again, The few people who have sacrificed their youth and to secure this country, they have to speak out. I can't do it alone. I'm not bound to do it, but I can't do it alone. And I'm not a politician. If I was a politician, Tim, whether I'd won or whether I'd lost, I would have been in by Parliament every Tuesday when there is Parliament, For those guys to see me and let me tell them things that I live. Let me tell it to them to their faces. Because those guys know they're just fooling the people, Philippi and them know that they're just ridiculing the people. Tim, lastly, I know I'm taking a lot of your time. Lastly, let me tell you that. Tim, that last shooting at Black Malay Day, I don't know whether it was the perpetrators drove by, I don't know whether it was a drive-by or whether the guys walked in. As far as the information I have is that persons came on foot. But let me tell you that. Tim, you know how many shootings there have been in that very location in Marshall over the last 5 years?
Yeah, countless.
And how many people have died in that block? Tim, there are more than 10 persons died between Kwame's house and Black Malay, in 5 years. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
What have this joker say about that? Every time the man come, the man just talking some nonsense and everything going back to rest. They have killed 10 people. There have been about 6 drive-by shootings in Marshall, Tim. In that very area there. The last time they killed 2 guys on that same street, That was July last year, 2025. This time around, they shot 3. Fortunately, only 1 died, Tim. But it could have very well been 3 more bodies there, That is less than 10 meters from the Marshall Road into Black Malay,
Now, people have a tendency to say that, whenever there's a homicide or a shooting incident, people make reference to the government or to a parliamentary representative. But what you're saying there, I believe the concerns you're raising, those are valid. Because if the trend continues, caller, it will only be a situation where we'll continue to lament, we'll just continue to pine over the fact that somebody else has lost their life in that same particular area, and life will just not change. Now, in the meantime, you have people who are residing in that part of the constituency in Marcia. You have children, you have businesses there operating. People still have to drive along the highway. People have to walk as well in that particular area. You have a number of schools that are located in that area. Talking about Leon Hess, Entrepot, the Charles Gachet School, Combined School, etc. So something has to be done about this particular problem that you just highlighted there.
Tim, let me tell you something. Tim, I spent 4 years at the Marshall Police Station, and I was transferred 2 days after the 2021 election. Compliments, Philippe Pierre. Now, don't tell me how I know that. I know that. Let me tell you something. I prepared a report. I was asked a report in 2021 for the installation of CCTV cameras, position them strategically along Marchand. When you just said it, there are 4 schools in the area. Those shootings, some of those shootings happened during the day, light period. Some time ago, we had a midday shooting at the Bronkford Rockall Junction there.
Yeah.
Tim, that report was prepared. We in 2026, Tim, Marcia does not have not one functioning camera. And you have a general there. The man called himself a general. People are voting this man. Tim, the Marcia people, listen to the last comments from the last shooting. The people are afraid to walk on Marcia Road, you know, Tim. Marcia people, you know, who vote this man. They're telling you they're afraid to send their children to the shops because there is shooting there anytime. And you have a joker coming there and mama guy laughing with reporters. A whole clown show going on in Parliament. Compliments Philippe Pierre. Now you think I, as a security-minded person, can listen to Philippe Pierre and take him serious? Philippe Pierre is a joker. Everybody knows that in Marcia. Yet still the man. Tim, have a good day, man. Right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Jante. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, there are qualified auditors all over the world. He could have hired Price Waterhouse if he wanted. CIP reports wait still. St. Jude's Hospital, wait. John Odlum Stadium, wait again. Another YouTube comment reading, Philip J. Pierre, you showed the public a printed copy of unidentified reports. You should have had the cameraman do a close-up of the cover. Team PJP and the ministers is the public. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, PJP taking Lucians for a joyride. Tim, because it's a fake report. So much passports that have been sold, they must review carefully. We have another comment saying, it's their habit to wave papers around to fool their supporters. Tim, you remember them in opposition pressing the UWP government for their report? Just imagine it was the UWP government in power. All hell in St. Lucia would have broken loose. We have a few more comments here reading, it is exactly what Lucians voted for. If you have the report, why not have a briefing on it? Quick, quack, story time with the PM. We have another comment here reading, when Shas hires outside people, you all complain. PJP, you are an accountant, right? Just do it. Peep, you showed St. Lucians a book. AP, that's it. I have realized that anytime people don't get the way, they blame other people. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading, basically, this government handed the people a 649, and they accepted it. Mirror, no St. Jude's, no police station, high crime rates, are these all facts? PJP, you showed papers and nobody knows what is written in the papers. You can't tell St. Lucians that you showed the public the CIP report. you will only fool your hacks. Under PJP, the only thing that CIP has done is create an ad before elections saying that I am the I in CIP, and also using those funds to pay for STEP. What a waste of funds. We have another commenter saying, SLP supporters better not complain about anything. They knew about CIP before elections. They still voted for him. Whatever they get, deal with. Who is responsible to hold the government accountable for not tabling their reports on time? Waiving reports is now a pass for transparency. Another comment reading, according to the caller before, is the PM saying that Martinez's report that he put out is correct? All ministers have to pay a large fee just to talk to me. Callers in Lucians don't care about St. Lucia, so they're getting what they worked for. And our final comment saying, y'all had a minister y'all did not see for 5 years and still voted for him.
Thank you so much, Zante, for that report. We have a WhatsApp message. In the meantime, let's see if we have a call on the landline, but let's go through that WhatsApp message. Are you saying that the residents have the responsibility for the safety? What is the role of the authorities? The government has the responsibility to ensure the safety of all citizens, not the people. What I was saying exactly is that people like to make excuses for the government, this administration. Even you just report that there's been a homicide. You report there's been 2 homicides within the space of a few hours, and people take offense. So with regard to this incident which occurred at Marchand, the last caller made reference to several killings that have occurred in that same area over a 5-year period. I am not saying it's the responsibility of the citizens to ensure that the area is safe. That's what I'm saying. As on the contrary, I am saying that the authorities are responsible. And you have the Prime Minister, who is also the MP for the area. Since 1997, he has to do what is expected of him to ensure the people in his constituency are safe. That's exactly what I was saying earlier on. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. The Prime Minister has around 4 years to respond to any concerns. He don't care what y'all say. Madness in Lucia. That's according to our WhatsApp message. And another WhatsApp message says, I truly have to admit St. Lucians love misery. Why is the Prime Minister always covering for the CIP people? That man has no respect for the people of the country. Lucians, wake up. Stop letting this SLP government fool you again and again. I'm so tired of this nonsense. No respect. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, team.
Yes, sir.
Hold on,
Good afternoon to you, caller. Hello.
Hello. Is this Timothy Poleon of NewsSpin?
Yes, it is. And you are on the air, sir.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So, I think your President of America wants to bring a lawsuit against Philip J. Pierre. He said that he's copied his tactics because he waved the Epstein files a blank folder to the people and they bought it. And now Philip J. Pierre is doing the same thing. So that means he has copied his style and he'll sue him for $10 billion for that. Okay?
Okay, caller.
Relate that to him for me, please. Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Mr. Poleon.
Yes, sir.
Remind the gentleman what happened to the citizens of the Americas after they bought Trump's within the Epstein file. See the state of America now. And that maybe that is what is going to happen to St. Lucia pretty soon. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that I believe Dr. Kenny Anthony would have been a better prime minister. He is an honest man. That's according to our WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. You are right. Let them hold them accountable and not pass the buck. Let's see if we have some more of your messages. Is it within our power to demand accountability from this deceitful Prime Minister through a vote of no confidence? Some more of your messages. Somebody says that, Tim, it is getting out of hand. If it's not a container truck, it's a dumpster truck. The driver of those heavy equipment vehicles need to be more careful. Happened this morning somewhere in the Tomazo area, and we have a video. I will endeavor to share this with my producer, and we might be able to share it with you as well via YouTube and Facebook. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, the minister is using auditors as a scapegoat for the late presentation of the CIP report. The report is due to the people of St. Lucia first and not just international bodies. Anybody can wave a roll of toilet paper and call it a report. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, Tim, good afternoon. I could remember the police commissioner spoke about he had 10 names of people that had acquired property from illegal means, that he would be coming for them. Now I'm not hearing from him again. Did all that went down the drain? That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have some more of your messages. And somebody says there, why would St. Lucians vote for a government who boasts about putting people first and introduce such high taxes? St. Lucians are paying the highest prices for fuel when compared to the smaller islands, yet they are happy with that. Sad. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Once again, the number to call is 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Hey, Tim, Alan Chastany here.
Hi,
how are you, sir?
I'm okay, Mr. Chastany. Good afternoon to you.
Good. I just want to maybe correct. I don't know if somebody has corrected you since then, because I'm on a delay with your show. But I went and verified the report. The CIP report was tabled in the House yesterday.
Oh, it was tabled.
Yes. Maybe what people are confused with is they were expecting a debate of it, but that's not how it works. So it basically comes in as an SI. And is included in the parliamentarians' package of information that they have. And so it would be now tabled again today at the Senate. And I think once it's done that, then the document ought to be made public, if it's not been made public as yet, to the journalist.
So why will there be a debate on it or discussion on it with regard to the contents?
There wouldn't be. So it's like all of the audited reports. It's a document that by tabling it in the House, it makes it public. But there's not a debate. But you as an MP, in future debates that you're having, if you want to make reference to it, you can, because it was tabled, it has now becomes a document of the House already.
But the members of the public, ordinary St. Lucians, will not be privy to the contents of that report. Is that what we want to achieve, so that people know what's in the report actually?
Once it's been tabled in the House, then it's anybody can go to the Parliament and get it.
Okay.
And I would imagine each of the media houses would, in turn, get a copy of the report and go through it, and make the important parts available to the public. I would imagine also, subject to correction, that once it's tabled in the House, it also becomes a document on the government's website. And like many of the other reports, you can download it online.
Okay. All right.
But that being said, I think that the report, from what I've read of it so far, actually is worse than I expected, Tim, because it is so ambiguous in the details that it's providing. And I want to make this, and I know we've said this before, but I don't think that we can ever say it enough, because I know it's a difficult concept for a lot of people to appreciate. The audit report that's being done is on the operations of the CIP unit. So that means the staff, the utilities, the rent, their expenses. And it ought to show how many applications they received, how many they've approved, and it also ought to break those applications down into the different programs. How many applications were received for the donation program, how many were received for real estate, how many were received for the infrastructure program, or any of the other programs that the government has. But it has never included, and that's been one of the points of debate, it's never included an audit of the escrow account. So the monies that are received from the CIP unit on the real estate is only the administrative fee. The actual amount that people pay towards the real estate goes into an escrow account. And the reason for going in the escrow account is to make sure that the account is reconciled with the construction of the hotel. So you should not see a situation where there is insufficient monies in the escrow account and the hotel is not finished. So the purpose of the escrow account is to make sure that the company is spending the money that it's getting on the construction of the hotel. And that we keep on talking about a reconciliation of that account, and that there ought to be an audit of that account. Because up to now, none of us knows how much money has been collected in the account. None of us knows how much money has been spent on the hotel. I can only say to you, a year ago, when we had started the court case, what was revealed to us was that the Galaxy admitted as of March of last year, they had spent in total $75 million on the project. But only $15 million of that $75 million was spent in St. Lucia. So $60 million was spent outside of St. Lucia, architectural fees, purchasing materials, etc. But the actual amount that was spent in St. Lucia was $15 million. What was also very odd at the time is that the minister had said that the program was fully subscribed. So it means that he's claiming that Galaxy had sold over 6,000 files, and each file was worth $200,000. That's $1.2 billion that they're saying that Galaxy would have collected. And yet they'd only spent $75 million on the hotel. That has not been resolved. So we still don't know how much money is in the escrow account. But here's what's interesting, and I'm saying it publicly because that's certainly what my intention is going to do, is I'm going to write a letter to Grant Thornton, who are the ones who conducted the audit, to ask them whether, in fact, when they were doing the audit, whether, in fact, the government made available to them the contract between the CIP unit and Galaxy. And that's very important, because the contract that we have and that has been submitted into the court case says the following, that the number of files was increased from 1,000 and was increased by 5,000 to 6,000 files. And that the administrative fee, because remember I said to you that the CIP unit collects the administrative fee, is being paid back to Galaxy in the form of a commission. So in the report I'm seeing, it's showing a significant increase in amount of revenue due to administrative fees, but it's not showing the expense of having to pay the commission out. So not all of that money is for the government. So in fact, the deal that the government has done with Galaxy, according to the contract, the government gets none of the administrative fees and has increased the number of files, which is very peculiar. And one would have to really try to understand why the government would have done that. The second one, which again, there's no distinction made in the report as to how many applications they received from the infrastructure program. So this is very pertinent information, and I think that shows an attempt clearly to disguise, to hide information from the general public. So you can see a big number. They said that they made $400 million in revenue. Expenses went up to $200 million, so they would have netted $200 million. But I don't even believe that number. It also shows that in my tenure, our 5 years, and I want to put that in perspective, we approved 850 new citizens to St. Lucia. The last report that we got showed that they approved 1,200 citizens in 1 year. And this report now is showing that they have approved an additional 2,200 citizens. So that means in 2 years, the government has approved close to 4,000 or just under 4,000 new citizens. And you compare that to the 800 that was done during our tenure, and it begs the question, where's the money? Where's the money? And I can only say to you that we struggled from a due diligence process to manage 800 applications. So when you're telling me that you have almost 10,000, 8,000 applications, and you've had close to just under 4,000 new approvals, the due diligence nightmare that would create is unbelievable. And remember, the due diligence is also being done by Impacts and RSS. They're also receiving applications from Grenada, from St. Kitts, from Antigua and Dominica, right? So just think of it, Tim, right? How many applications are going through the RSS and Impacts? And whether in your mind, layman, because that's how you have to look at these whether it's feasible for the proper due diligence to be done. And I would even be more worried because it is clear that from this report that the government is doing everything to manipulate and hide what the truth is. And I'm sorry to say, Tim, but this has been a pattern of behavior with this government. We are no wiser today as to how much money has been spent on St. Jude's and what the status of St. Jude's are. We are no wiser about the money that went into the NLA and now the recent chaos with the aquatic center, the Olympic-sized swimming pool that started at $12 million, went to $20 million, went to $30 million, and is still not complete. And again, for all of us in St. Lucia, is to put in perspective some of this information. You'll remember that the Labour Party, and particularly Ernest Hillier, was very critical of the project that we did with Don Lockerbie. And that total contract was $33 million, of which they tried to make it out to be that Don Lockerbie was getting $33 million. That was never the case. Don Lockerbie's company got about $1.8 million in consultancy fees. The rest of the money was spent on the Soufriere Stadium, which is the track, the field, and the lights, and the upgrading of the players' pavilion, the stand. I mean, you had the Deriso playing field and the lights. You had the Miku school playing field and the lights. You had the Denry facility with the lights and the AstroTurf, and you also had the Groselet facilities for $33 million. How much do we know the government borrowed? Over $120 million through the NLA. We still don't know how much was spent on the stadium. We still don't know where the money was spent. We see some improvement to some of the facilities via lights, but not to the state or to the level that we had put in to the 4 playing fields that I spoke about. We're no wiser about the GPH deal. Why are we being kept in the dark about the GPH deal? If this deal is so good for St. Lucia, why can't anybody explain to us how it works? We're lost. And we're seeing now a recurring pattern of behavior by this government to deliberately, in my mind, hide information, put out propaganda to confuse people as to what the issues are. But if we just keep our eye on what the ball is, in this case, if we just follow the money, there are more questions than there are answers. And certainly this CIP report, which is 6 months overdue. And remember, the government is given 6 months after the books are closed to get the report done. And this is now 6 months past that. So 1 year for them to be able to put this report into place. And the report shows nothing. and it deliberately is disguising, I think, the truth from the people of St. Lucia, and we ought to be very concerned. I'm looking forward, Tim, next week for the appropriations bill. I think this is probably one of the most important budgets that we're going to have, because the Prime Minister is going to have to explain what his government's policies are going to be to tackle, one, the significant growing debt in the country, two, the significant increase in cost of operations in the country, and three, where is he going to make up the revenue? Because the revenue that he's obtained so far have been windfalls. And what do I mean by that? When there was inflation, global inflation, what we call the CIF prices, the cost of insurance and freight, for the containers, insurance and freight to come into St. Lucia. So the cost of goods went up in St. Lucia. And as a result of that, government collected more revenue on the same number of goods. You follow me, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the number of goods coming into St. Lucia didn't change. It was the prices went up. And because the prices went up, the VAT and excise tax that they were collected more money on the same number of goods. So we call that a windfall in revenue. There was a second windfall of revenue, that the government artificially kept the price of gas at the pumps, what the consumer pays, high, notwithstanding that the price of imported gas went down. So instead of collecting $4 per gallon, the government was collecting almost $6 per gallon. And so there was an additional windfall of revenue. And then the third one being now CIP. So the question is, do we believe that those windfalls in revenues are going to continue? I don't think so. We're seeing the price of gas go up. So the government is going to have to make a choice. If they want to maintain the same margin that they're currently been getting on a price of a gallon of gas, they're going to have to increase the price at the pump. If they don't increase the price at the pump, it means that government's revenue is going to fall, and therefore there'll be a shortfall of revenue. We're not seeing any economic growth, Tim. You know, this nonsense that the Minister of Tourism keeps coming out and talking about best year ever. Well, the numbers don't show that. It shows that Barbados and Antigua are having phenomenal years. They're showing that Martinique and Dominica and St. Vincent and Grenada are seeing huge increases in cruise arrivals, while St. Lucia cruise arrivals are down. So we're in trouble. And so the government is going to have to explain to the public what's going to be the plan. Because where we're heading is we're heading into a deep cycle of debt. And it's going to be further exasperated by the high cost of operations that the government has. We're paying more for rent. I mean, can you imagine, Tim? We have the Durham Mall where the rent is $4 a square foot. And the government would rent it to KM2 for less than the $4. So it means that the government is subsidizing the rent at KM2. And meanwhile, our rental costs have gone from $60 million to $85 million a year. And when the Halls of Justice opens up, the way that the government is financing that project is through rent. And the rent is going to be $30 million a year. So it means that rent would have gone from $60 million to $115 million in 3 to 4 years. Where's the revenue coming to cover that? We have, and nobody's spoken about this, the largest cabinet in the history of St. Lucia. Every single person who could have been made a minister has been made a minister. They kept one person back as the deputy speaker of the House, and had another person as a senator become a minister. So we have now 16 ministers of government. Never in the history of St. Lucia. So the cost of operations of the government continue to rise, and I'm not so sure there's a corresponding benefit to the people of St. Lucia, and there's certainly not a corresponding increase in the growth rate in St. Lucia. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the Prime Minister intends to get out of the quagmire that he's created. And if he doesn't, it's going to really be at the expense of the standard of living of a lot of St. Lucians.
Any guarantees that you'll be speaking during the budget debate?
Look, as I've expressed before, the role of the leader of the opposition is an independent role to the executive. I don't follow the orders of the Prime Minister. It is my goal to represent the people of this country, and particularly the persons who oppose the government, and to provide an opposing view in a manner that is the best I possibly can do. So all depending on what the government says and how they say it, I will make the decision as to when I think is the best time for me to be able to speak. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I put a lot of time into preparing myself for this budget. I very much would like to speak in Parliament. But if I'm not given the opportunity to adequately represent the interest of the people and to be able to provide a proper report to the general public, then I will do so outside of the House. But I certainly would like the opportunity to be able to speak. And I hear some of the nonsense going on. I remember when I was in government in 2006 to 2011, and the records are there for themselves. Kenny Anthony spoke last. Stephenson King, when he was a leader of the opposition, spoke last. And if he didn't speak last, Gail would have spoken last when she became the leader of the opposition, or there were several games that were being played. There is no standard time when somebody is supposed to speak. As a leader of the opposition, I am there to represent the interest of the people of St. Lucia. I will speak when I think I can do so to the benefit of everyone. Me going to speak early in Parliament has proven that the debate changes from the debate of the budget to the debate of what Alan Shastney said. That's not in the best, and that's not serving the best interest of the people of this country. So again, depending on the information that's provided, the sincerity in which the information is being provided, the timing in which the information is being provided, those things will be guiding me to make sure that I can represent the people of this country to the best of my ability.
Thank you so much for speaking with us on this afternoon's NewsSpin program. You just heard there from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, also former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Shastney. Back in a bit with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. We'll continue the discussion, and we are long overdue for an update from Shanti. Stay with us.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Celebrate the extraordinary Resorts. Join us on Sunday, May 11 for a day dedicated to honoring Mom. Choose from 3 spectacular celebrations. Treat Mom to the elegance of our Pretty in Petals event at Bay Gardens Marina Haven for EC $160 per person. Experience jazzy vibes and culinary excellence at our Jazzy Mother's Day brunch at the Bay Gardens Hotel and Inn. A perfect blend of entertainment and indulgence for EC $175 per person. Enjoy a toast to Mom at the Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa, an upscale afternoon tailored to your special lady for only EC $200 per person. Children ages 4 to 12 receive 50% off, and children under 4 are absolutely free. Book by May 4th and receive a 10% discount on your entire reservation. For reservations and for more details, contact us at 457-8045 or send us an email at marketing@baygardensresorts.com. Create cherished moments this Mother's Day at Bay Gardens Resorts.
What happens when the music is stripped down to the truth? On April 29th, First National Bank presents the Teddyson John Experience at the luxurious Royalton Resorts. Raw vocals, live music, real emotion, an intimate night where Teddyson John opens the heart of the music. Also from Trinidad and Tobago, featuring Nyla Blackman, From St. Lucia, Michael Robinson.
I'm gonna make you mine.
Herb Black.
I'm so sorry.
Umpa. And Ricky T. Sharing their stories behind the songs and connects with you up close. This is more than a concert. It's a feeling. Stripped, April 29th. Royalton Resorts, limited seats. One unforgettable night. It's definitely my type of night and my type of vibes.
Tickets for this event are $100 USD. Food and drinks inclusive. Ticket locations: Anthony's Jewelry, Castries and Baywalk, The Wave, and online fourcirclestickets.com.
A newly renovated home is a special feeling, and lighting can be a big part of that. Like the LED seasonal lights many now use for energy saving and safety over the holidays. It's worth the effort to install LED lights everywhere, and you don't have to be an expert to change a bulb. Remember to turn off all lights when not in use. This includes LED lights. Saving energy is what's smart.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pump. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. You need tout pump pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. You need pli mer pour pump set ici. You ka ranger pump aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glow ka fante. Europa ni pump glow Léo en de couleur neuf, orange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Way to pay. Flowfast Pay. Flowfast Pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
FlowFastPay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. FlowFastPay. FlowFastPay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Don't wait for answers. If your doctor recommends an MRI, in health, every hour counts. At La Clinique de Corps, get advanced MRI scans from head to toe with no radiation and expert-reviewed reports by experienced radiologists that you can trust. Delivered the same day or within 24 hours. Right here in St. Lucia, serving the OECS. No travel, no delay. Call La Clinique de Corps at 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, precise diagnosis, real solutions.
Experience the rhythm, feel the soul, embody the atmosphere where foundation transcends, set against the breathtaking beauty of Point Verge, where lush cliff meets the ocean blue. Welcome to Jazz of Verge 2026, presented by the First National Bank. It's an experience. Headline in the action: international reggae icon, Jam Messenger, Luciano. Joined by some of St. Lucia's top-notch musicians, Michelle, Michael Robinson, Level 4, all back by the Impulse Band. Also featuring Rupert Lay Jazz Trio, 6 Mile, Cheryl Francis, St. Lucy's Steel Pan, and more. Regular tickets are $125. VIP $300 EC. Get your tickets at the Cell, Knights Gas Station, Miku, and Rose Madine. Online at fourcirclestickets.com. Sunday, April 26th. The gates are open from 1 p.m. Showtime 3 p.m. Jazz of Airs is powered by Four Circles Tickets. Wear white and join us for an unforgettable experience.
If that Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy, you'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
There are some experts who predict that oil on the world market may go up to $200 a barrel. If that happens, the lag effect on us will not come as soon as the price goes up, but the lag effect is going to be horrendous, to say the least. Whether we have any control of that, we don't. The sad thing is we do not. But if what the experts are predicting, some experts, that if oil on the world market goes up $200 a barrel, it'll have a serious effect on us. But we continue to work. The budget is not being presented with that eventuality. But we are going to put some measures in there to cushion the effects, to try to cushion as far as possible. But I can assure the people of St. Lucia that the government of St. Lucia, as we've always cared for the people, we will continue to see what we can do to cushion the effect. But hopefully, good sense will prevail and price of oil in the world market will not reach these heights.
Tell the man to bring down the price of the petrol. Bring it down. He refused. He never did it. Now he's coming and talk and say the cap and cap. What cap? The cap you're putting on your head? Tell the man to bring down the price of the petrol. Bring it down. He refused. He never did it. Now he's coming and talk and say the cap and cap. What cap? The cap you're putting on your head?
NewsSpin called us 2 Thursdays ago, and before him you heard from the Prime Minister speaking during the pre-cabinet briefing on Monday of this week. Good afternoon to you again, Shanti. Let's find out what's happening in the chat rooms.
Starting off on YouTube, our first comment reads, St. Lucia is in deep, deep trouble. Shouldn't Philip J. Pierre and SLP declare Marshall to be an escalated crime zone? Another YouTube comment here reading, Caller, SLP and PJP are not accountable or capable of running St. Lucia. The cost of running the government in St. Lucia has gone up over 50% since 2021. Who do you think will pay for that? Taxpayers, through higher taxes and gas prices. Moving to Facebook, our first comment reads, how can Pierre tell the people about the CIP when he knows that he has allowed Healer to sell over 80,000 passports in less than 4 years, and this is the reason why the visa restrictions on our passports occurred. St. Lucians must learn. The commissioning of St. Jude's is also a SLP stall tactic. Tim, there's no report of CIP. They tried to put something together and called it a report. We have another commenter saying, governments thrive on the ignorance of the public. The public are like goalkeepers defending what it is, even if it is against them. St. Lucians are illiterate. From the time they can obtain a loan, they could care less. PJP is waving like he's on a sidewalk cheering for a marathon. We have a few more comments here reading. The I in CIP is for the ministers. They are singing I am the I in CIP and laughing at the citizens. PJP can't do better. He's just being himself. PJP is using Trump's playbook. We have another comment here reading. How can one compare PJP with this man? Shaking my head. There's no comparison. Listen to the man explain, and those without an ounce of education want to criticize the man. Lucians are fools. The more SLP tries to hide the truth, the more drastic things will become. We have more comments from our Facebook page reading. I'm asking Pierre and Hilaire to explain CIP commerce the way the opposition leader is doing it here. Why our PM cannot talk like that? Clear and you can listen. PJP, where are the funds? We have another comment saying, Peep response. That's not my business. Partner not answering nada. SLP governments are taking Lucians for a ride. My goodness, it's unbelievable. Once the Clarity Acts get signed, all the SLP games are done. Another comment here reading, our passports will soon be as cheap as chips. Shahs don't have to explain a thing to them, and the people like it that way. This is the demonstration of strength of the opposition leader. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks so much, Jante, for that update. Let's continue with your WhatsApp messages. Let's see what's happening and what you are commenting at this point in time. Just bear with me while we're trying to see if we can get onto that platform right now to go through some of your messages. And somebody says there, honestly speaking, sometimes I wonder if PJP had a stroke in recent years, because no way the man was under Kenny Anthony and the man running the country now are two different people. Let's see another WhatsApp message, and it says there, good day, Tim. It's so sad that the pregnant young lady, Cassie John, has not been found at 238 Square Mile Island. Nobody knows or saw anything as to what became of her. If so, we all should be afraid. Sad. And we have some more of your messages to go through. And somebody says there, am I to believe that the spot in Marchand where the guys are being shot is the sacrificial altar? That's according to a WhatsApp message. And yet another WhatsApp message, just a few seconds before we go through it. Please stand by. Somebody says there, Tim, why put another aquatic center in the congested north of the island when there is already one? The center of the country has cheaper land and many schools to have swimming programs. Madness. Some more messages. Somebody says there that we have become numb to all of those killings, that when they occur, we just take it and pass on. I grew up in Marcia, and yes, crime was a thing, but the bad boys, as you would call them, protected the youth, the young girls, older people. You felt safe running to the store or bakery for your parents without fear. Now with the younger generation, it's shot to kill or shoot to kill. The young man who passed away was someone who, if you grew up Marcia, you knew him. May his soul R.I.P. The killings need to stop. It is the government's responsibility. Put up camera, get forensic training, do something. Not just vests and new buildings going up as we speak. PJP, pinch yourself and wake up. You are now the Prime Minister. Are you in a dream? Let's see if we have some more of your messages. Another WhatsApp message. Did Philip JPS say that there are no skilled auditors in St. Lucia? Kenny Anthony also said in 2010 or so that the public service has many qualified people but no leadership. No senior public servant challenged him, so I'm waiting to hear what the auditors will say. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another message says there, famous PJP sayings, Water fell from the sky all weekend. My father was a policeman. I'm not a policeman. The sky is falling. Daddy, take my toys. You lose, you lose. Let's have peace. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Now he get tired of talking. He just waving papers. Again, according to a WhatsApp message. Another such message. Tim, the Saint-Lucians don't love themselves. You think they will love the country and want to see better. All right, some more of your messages. Somebody says that PJP is the biggest clown, verbally dishonest, puppet of a prime minister, citizen, and ever have. Me being a Saint-Lucian/American, stand between a rock and a hard place. Please, Tim, tell me what to do. Some more of your messages. Hey, how comes the head of state, Gigi, has been hospitalized? Not a word to the nation. I've been hearing about this, but yet to confirm whether the Governor General, the head of state, has been hospitalized. I am not in a position to confirm this, but I have heard about it. So again, I'm not in a position to confirm what you just made reference to. Okay, somebody says there is a PPP agreement on the horizon for Wasco. Just asking the question. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we have the NewsSpin news of the day. So please stay with the broadcast.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
Are you suffering from kidney stones, leaking urine, also called urinary incontinence, or prostate problems? Don't wait. These problems don't fix themselves. At La Clinique du Corps, our internationally recognized urologist provides advanced urinary incontinence solutions and treats kidney stones and prostate conditions using modern technology to bring fast relief and real results. No more discomfort, no more uncertainty, just expert care you can trust. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950 today. La Clinique du Corps, where precision saves lives.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, "Close the fridge, you're wasting current." Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Art in the City is back, rooted in culture, bold in expression. Brought to you by the Cultural Development Foundation. On Friday, April 17th, the celebration begins in Beaufort. Art in the Street at the New Market Complex from 10 a.m., followed by readings and rhythms at 7 p.m. On April 24th and 25th, indulge in the Icon Series, 4-course gala dinner at Sandals Grand, honoring culinary master Edward Chef Harry Joseph. On April 26th and 27th, theater lovers gather at Warehouse 11 for Don't Call Me Baby Doll, written and directed by Travis Weeks. Or head to the Caribbean Cinemas for screenings from the Jumpstart Film Project. From April 27th to May 16th, experience Life in Color, a visual arts exhibition at the Audi Showroom and Orange Grove Plaza, featuring works by St. Lucian master artists. On April 28th, the stage comes alive at Sandals Grand with 10 to 1, the Mighty Sparrow musical, produced by Raul Gibbons and directed by Louis McWilliams. On May 1st, journey to Ancillary for Fish Friday, an evening of storytelling with George Fish Alphonse and Kidel Sonny. May 2nd and 3rd, experience Triptych, directed by Kendall Hippolyte at Warehouse 11. On Monday 4th, feel the power of poetry at Voices of the Underground, featuring world-renowned dub poet Linton Kwesi Johnson. From May 5th to 7th, Artscape concerts pop up in unexpected spaces, dance, theater, music. And on May 7th and 8th, discover handcrafted treasures at T-Tax St. Lucie Craft and Souvenir Market. On the Rodney Bay Strip, Art in the City 2026, rooted in culture, bold in expression.
Super Jazz and Arts, that's the best community jazz event in St. Lucia.
You heard it. Now come to Super Jazz and Arts, the ultimate experience. Gramps Morgan. Voice. Montiel. DYB, Offer Alain, Ezra the Fun Machine, Imran Nerdy, Reasons Orchestra, Boo Hinkson and the True Tones. Now on a Saturday, May 2nd, doors open from 3 p.m. Get your tickets at $150 or indulge in the ultimate VIP Village experience for $400. Purchase at FourCircleTickets.com, the Cell Outlets Island-wide, and the Soufre Foundation office. 9 incredible artists, 1 unforgettable night. And also join us for DJ Asuf, Creole Breakfast Fest, Sunday, May 3rd. Admission free. The ultimate weekend in the ultimate location. Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Finally, let us hear from King's Counsel, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, P.J. Patterson, whilst delivering the Norman Manley Lecture on April the 1st, he speaks about third-party deportees.
Has Jamaica entered any agreement to accept incarcerated migrants in the USA from third-party countries allegedly being deported for criminal convictions. Remember, one of ours had to be brought back from Eswatini. You and I, persons like of my age, know it as Swaziland. And if any such person is sent here, under what law in Jamaica will they be detained and where? But even apart from the question of legality, we have to ask, is there not an obvious incongruity when so soon as any Haitian lands in Jamaica, they're sent back before the hearing of their request for political asylum? Is it a convenient lapse of memory, or is it just sheer ignorance of our history? Haiti was the first country to declare that any slave who entered that nation, which won its independence by defeating Napoleon's army, was immediately declared a citizen and a free man.
Former Jamaican Prime Minister, King's Counsel P.J. Patterson, speaking recently, and that's during his lecture on Norman Manley. That's the Norman Manley Annual Lecture. Finally, from us, we have the NewsSpin News of the Day. The NewsSpin News of the Day reads, the International Monetary Fund cuts growth outlook, warns world already drifting toward more adverse scenario. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, cuts growth outlook, warns world already drifting toward more adverse scenario. The NewsSpin News of the Day. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening right here on the most monitored talk show in the world. Please join me this evening, 7 o'clock in the first instance for the DBS News World, and then at 8:30, Newsmaker Live on DBS Television. Don't forget, please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.